So finally, Burkina Faso President Captain Ibrahim Traore has now said again that the rearming and the strategic militarization of Burkina Faso is not stopping anytime soon. Ladies and gentlemen, look, when it comes to acquisition of weapons, he even said that the weapons in Burkina Faso right now, they are not at the level that he desires.
And since September 2022, the Burkinabe army has been undergoing a complete reorganization, including a strategic equipment plan, territorial restructuring for better coverage, recruitment of military, paramilitary personnel, and VDPs. The Burkinabe army is transforming and the results are promising. This momentum stems from the firm determination of the president of Faso, Captain Ibrahim Traore, to make the Burkinabe army a strong force, aligned with the current challenges. The main points of this reorganization are outlined in this commentary by Sekou Zongo.
Today the army is much better equipped than it has ever been, but we say that this is nothing. The equipment will come 10 times, many times more advanced than what we currently have. We will continue to recruit in order to have a strong army, because independence and sovereignty, so long as you do not have a strong army, you cannot stand on your own.
And for the use of all these resources acquired thanks to the various contributions of Burkinabes, the head of state is launching a large-scale recruitment and training program for the benefit of the different entities of the Burkinabe fighting forces. More than 15,000 soldiers, thousands of police officers, gendarmes, forestry agents, firefighters, and over 90,000 volunteers for the defense of the homeland have been recruited and trained. Another challenge taken on by the president of Faso, reorganizing the territory to optimize actions. Thus, the number of military legions has increased from 3 to 6. We are also witnessing the creation of 6 gendarmerie legions and 2 airborne intervention battalions. For greater efficiency, the Special Rapid Intervention Brigade has also been created and made operational. It brings together 4 rapid intervention groups, around 30 RIBs, rapid intervention battalions, a special forces group, and the ATEC force, the Special Anti-Terrorist Field Force. We also note the creation of marching battalions to ensure the reconquest of territory and the consolidation of peace. In 2023, the Parachute Commando Group was established on the ashes of the Parachute Commando Regiment. And what about the creation of special police units and combatant penitentiary units? Since Captain Ibrahim Traore came to power, the training of combat personnel has also become a top priority. On January 5, 2024, Captain Ibrahim Traore signed a decree marking the revival of SENEC, the National Commando Training Center based in Pau, whose mission is to provide training.
Ladies and gentlemen, Burkina Faso is now legitimately on the Mount Rushmore of Africa independence. When you talk about Panafricanism, it's as if you are talking about Burkina Faso, right? Burkina Faso now is becoming a beacon of Pan-African identity that we all can emulate. Ladies and gentlemen, you know, this is not like the main episode of today. So I'm going to play the video to you so that you can watch Burkina Faso. Just watch Burkina Faso generally. Let's watch this video.
The defense and security forces, resolutely committed to overcoming terrorism, and the population united behind them, are demonstrating unwavering support. Through demonstrations of support, contributions to the Patriotic Support Fund, and donations to the widows and orphans of fighters who fell on the field of honor, civilians show in their own way the trust they place in their army and their gratitude for the protection they receive. Welcome, Tansa.
With the advent of the MPSR2, a new wind is blowing over Burkina Faso. In both words and actions, the top authorities are clearly showing their determination to put an end to the security threat, no matter the cost. In record time, significant ground and air resources have been acquired, and the number of fighters is increasing at a rapid pace. Those who used to attack peaceful populations and then mock the people are no longer in a position of strength. They are being hunted from all sides by the defense and security forces, as well as the volunteers for the defense of the homeland, sometimes right up to their last stronghold. The results on the ground are tangible. Several parts of the territory have been reclaimed from enemy control, and many people are returning to their places of origin. Clearly, the population's trust in the fighting forces is growing stronger. Civilians, once in despair, are now showing greater appreciation for the protection they receive from citizen T2. The brave boys returning from operations no longer come back to the barracks as insignificant figures. They are welcomed as heroes. The people no longer hide their admiration for their strong and resilient army. They openly display their pride. In January 2023, the government launched the Patriotic Support Fund to address emergencies and support the national strategy against terrorism. The popular mobilization is unequivocal. Civilians have understood that the efforts of the government, the defense and security forces, and the volunteers for the defense of the homeland alone are not enough. They too can make a contribution by financially supporting the fight against a difficult situation that has lasted far too long. While most of the funds raised come from salary deductions, many Burkinabe, both at home and abroad, continue to approach the authorities to make their own contributions. For the year 2025 alone, as of last September 30th, the FSP fund has received more than 142 billion CFA francs, which is over 95% of the annual recovery target set at 150 billion CFA francs. The people support the sincerity of the fight and have no intention of stopping now. Support for the widows and orphans of fighters who fell on the field of honor is increasing. Blood drives are also being organized for the benefit of the defense and security forces and the volunteers for the defense of the homeland. In intelligence gathering, civilians and military personnel work hand in hand for the common good, bringing back peace.
Now you can see the Captain Ibrahim Traore and the citizens of Burkina Faso. It is not enough for us just to talk about Captain Ibrahim Traore and his exploits. Over 90,000 VDP is not a joke in a country of how many people? See, Burkinabe people, they are lions. And to be honest with you, it is only good that they are fighting and they are ready to fight. Because it's either you take the fight to the enemy or the enemy will bring the fight to you. This man understands the true identity of sovereignty. You can see what he said. The strength of your military determines the level of your sovereignty. So, man, I love that country, honestly. And you can see that the citizens are more than willing to contribute because they are seeing the result in real time. Now, one of the critical things I've heard on the side is that the Burkinabes in diaspora, they are stupendously reinforcing the government when it comes to the financial wherewithal. I'm a Nigerian, but in this whole Pan-African struggle, I'm putting in my own effort too. You know, as a Nigerian, I'm helping the best I can. I'm helping the AES state. I continue to prop up Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso, Botswana, Namibia. I'm doing my best, even for Sudan, right? And everybody in the adult community are equally doing their best, and I really appreciate you all for the support so far, supporting the motherland. I really, really appreciate you. So let's go to Mali, right? Any rumor going on now that there is fuel scarcity in Mali is a complete lie. Somebody said, how possible is it for 1,200 tankers of fuel to enter Mali? Ladies and gentlemen, from the statistics we've gotten so far, so good. It's even more than that. So the fuel entering Mali now is not for 1 month consumption, it's not for 2 month consumption, but it's not even the availability of fuel at this point, right? The Malian people are celebrating now. Fuel is back, life is back, economy is back, everything is back in Mali. Now let me say this, right? This has nothing to do with some agreement that Mali has chosen to not comply with any of, the terms of either the jihadists or some of those frenemies. You know what frenemy is? That tries to destabilize Mali. Assimi Goita and his people has not given any type of concession. So it's a question of who breaks first. But ladies and gentlemen, from statistics and facts, the enemies are breaking. Not because they want to break, but because Mali is covertly and overtly putting the right pressure on them. There are pressure, but not every pressure is right. The silence of Assimi Goïta in strategic situation is a billion word. I don't know if you understand. Now, I want you to look at the way the convoy that were entering into Mali, how heavily militarized it was. Right? Between convoys, between hydrocarbon trucks, right? I think after about 10, you have a whole huge military presence. You have all those APCs and all of that. Now, by the side, you have the motorcycles. It's like you have a whole squad moving. Just that, it's like you are. I've never seen anything like this. So, according to the information we had, that the only attempt by the jihadists to infiltrate this convoy, they were met with overwhelming firepower, with utmost precision. It was a complete devastation. Ladies and gentlemen, their bodies were completely recovered. Their weapons were destroyed. So you can see that the AES state, when they talk about sovereignty, they mean what they said. Now look at the way Donald Trump talked about Nigeria. Can he say the same thing about the Alliance of Sahel states? Because they are just on a whole different level when it comes to sovereignty and when it comes to independence. Ladies and gentlemen, we will see tonight when I bring you the latest updates that is going on in Africa generally. A luta continua, Victoria Asanta. Thank you very much for coming back. And if you like what we do, we want you to stay. We love you here. And please do well to click the like, share, and subscribe button. If your boy 7200 signing out, enough said, but before I go, much salute.